Greetings, Gilliam the Rogue here once again, back with a build video. This time we will be looking at the Stamina Warden in Maelstrom Arena. This is going to be my first run ever on Stamina Warden on the live servers. I did have a PTS version that was a little bit rough around the edges. This one goes much smoother, we get a much better score. Still make a few mistakes in here and I do end up dying. So this is a dry run. This isn't going to be showcasing me at my best potential. I'm missing a bunch of passives because I haven't finished the character and everything, but it still does a very good job at demonstrating what it's like to play a Stamina Warden in Maelstrom Arena and how to problem solve when you start running into issues, and then talking about if you don't have the best gear, if you don't want to use certain abilities, if you want to be more defensive. So if you're looking to clear Maelstrom Arena or you're looking to improve in Maelstrom Arena, this video shall serve you quite well in both avenues. And as always, a massive shout out to the people who support me, helping me stay afloat financially through my Patreon, or even just providing positive feedback and YouTube comments, giving me advice in terms of what content to put out, encouragement. Thank you. The community is why I've stuck so long and really found a place in content creation, and why I continue and will continue doing it. Like, just the amount of responsiveness and impact that we have on one another is a truly special connection that I have with the game and the audience itself. Just being able to help them and then seeing that it actually makes an impact. So really thank you all for being a part of something bigger and kind of giving me meaning, as silly as that sounds in a video game. But let's get into the content. Hope you guys enjoy. As said in the intro, we are going to be doing Veteran Maelstrom Arena for the first time on our Stamina Warden. I did run it on the PTS. I've changed a little bit of stuff, but I'm going to, again, try and keep things a little bit more true to the class. So instead of running what's optimal in terms of ability setups, I'm going to run more Warden-esque abilities to give a more general idea of how the class feels in terms of the average player sort of thing. So I'm not going to be running Caltrops. I'm going to be using the Bird instead of Bloodthirst. All of these are really great options, but we'll get to the ability loadout when I get there. But as for race, I prefer Redguard in Maelstrom Arena. However, I'm a Khajiit because I do more than VMA. I really actually dislike this place after running it thousands of times. I'm pretty much done with the place, so once I'm done with Stamina Warden, I might pop in occasionally, but I really do not like making builds for it. It's really unfun. Like, probably one of my least favorite places in the game at this point. If it had 2-man, I would fall in love all over again. I would be in here all day, but unfortunately stuck into doing solo stuff in an MMO, and I'm here to try and show you what's best so you can get out of there as soon as possible. Again, race, I am Khajiit. Khajiit is really strong for PvE DPS, still lots and lots of crit. We get a little bit of stam regen. However, most players are going to prefer Redguard because that extra sustain, extra flat stamina, they're still very strong for flat DPS and sustained DPS that are going to beat Khajiits. So if you're looking for more sustained power, more long-winded fights, a little bit more not as punishing as other things, then Redguard's going to be really nice. However, I'm a min-max player. I like learning from my mistakes, and Khajiits offer unparalleled DPS in form of weapon crit. So I don't mind if I suck at sustain. That's my own fault. I'll deal with it, and I have other ways to get over that. As for Mundistone, we are running the classic Thief. That's because we don't have a lot of crit like the Stamina Nightblade, so we don't really have an option of running Shadow. If we do, we're still going to do pretty close DPS, but in Maelstrom Arena, where you want consistency rather than occasional burst, I really like the Thief instead of Shadow in here. Using Buy Health Stamina Food, now you could go with the Dubious Throne food if you want more sustain. However, you're going to have to drop your stamina probably under 30k so that your health gets higher. Now we do see I'm at 16k health. That's because my Warden is not done. I have no Undaunted passive, so I'm missing 6% max health Stamina Magicka. That means I'm missing tons of HP. However, thanks to the Green Balance passive maturation, we're going to get major toughness when we heal ourselves. Oh, that's also not max rank, but whatever, doesn't matter. At least it's there. We have all of our important abilities and all that, but like I don't have all my racials, I don't have alchemy, like I'm missing some stuff, but it's not a big deal. We'll get over it. As for gear, we're running the same thing that I would run on any stamina build. This set just works too powerfully. Like, there's no other real options in terms of min-max, but there are tons of flex pieces that I'll talk about. So our main two-piece as a monster set is going to be Veladreth. The reason I take this over Krag's is because it has more burst damage. The weapon damage is really strong. Krag's penetration is extremely weak until later fights, like in boss rounds or like stage 7 and 8, where mobs get much tankier. But in rounds 1 through 5, things don't have a lot of resistances, so it's pointless to stack a lot of penetration. That's why I go with Veladreth over Krag's. You can use Valken Scoria. It's not going to proc too much because we don't have a lot of dots. You can use Mephalos, which is really strong now. It has that extra health, and then whenever you heavy attack, you do AoE poison damage. So there's some options for the stamina build in terms of monster sets if you're not Bis yet. Our other 5-piece is going to be Vicious Ophidian. This thing is monstrous. It helps make VMA a breeze for stamina builds in terms of sustain. We're going to get a whopping 2150 stamina. Can happen up to 1 time every second. So if you're low on stamina, try and spread out kills instead of killing everything at once so that you get that stamina return every second, because there is that 1 second internal cooldown. You're going to be moving real quick with the Major Expedition, and then you're going to have 8% cost reduction on our dual wield bar, because that's where it's active. Other than that, gives tons of damage in form of Minor Slayer, gives weapon crit, gives weapon damage. This set is amazing. If you do not have Vicious Ophidian, I highly suggest using the set Leeching. Let me pop it up out of my bank real quick, but this set is super phenomenal in terms of helping. Leeching, you get it from one of the Cyrodiil towns. I believe it's the one in the southeast here. I don't remember the name. I'm not 100% sure about it. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. I think it's Cropsford, but again, not 100% sure. But this set is really, really helpful if you don't have Vicious Ophidian, because it does the same thing. When you kill an enemy, you get a little bit less stamina, but you also get healing and magicka back, so that's really, really helpful. And there's no cooldown on this as opposed to Vicious Ophidian. The Vengeance Leech is amazing. It also helps that maximum HP threshold go up, so you can, if you don't have that monster set yet, or you want to run the Dubious Throne Food, then you are pretty much good to go. So that's what I really like Vengeance Leech as a suboptimal option for VO, because not everyone has access to trial gear, so use 3-piece Vengeance Leech. You're going to do that on your jewelry. Next is our main 5-piece, and that's going to be Twin Fang Snake. You get this from Sanctum Ophidia. It's really, really strong. It gives us penetration instead of reduction, meaning it will give us flat damage to any target, not just the ones that we're building stacks off of. If you place AoEs on the portals, you'll gain stacks before they can become damaged, meaning it'll be up 100% of the time. If you do not have access to Twin Fang Snake, then, again, we have another option. The classic, very much preferred for many players, Spriggans. Spriggans is really strong. It's going to give penetration again, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm not getting the full benefit. It's going to have a lot of stamina, so that's going to help us with sustain. Just having a higher resource pool means it takes longer for us to run out of stamina. Going to not have as much crit, though, so you're not going to be critting as frequently, meaning your DPS is going to be a little bit lower. But again, it's better than not having anything at all. The other thing is if you don't want to buy Spriggans, you can also get Night Mother's Gaze. It's less penetration. It does apply to specific targets, so it's armor reduction. So if you're not hitting all of the enemies, you're not going to get the benefit. But has lots of crit. Very easy. You can make it look really cool because it's styles, easy to make, traits, all that good stuff. As for weapons, again, Vicious Ophidian. If you're using Vengeance Leech on your jewelry, that means you have an open 2-piece on your weapon slot on your dual wield bar. You can go with Leckies for some weapon damage. You can go with a crafted set like Ashen Grip to gain some max health if you want that. You could go with stamina regen if you want. There are tons of options. It doesn't matter too much. And then our back bar is going to be a bow, ideally a Maelstrom bow. A Master bow works well too. Maelstrom is going to be Bis, but if you're doing Maelstrom to get a Maelstrom bow, don't worry about it. You can just use a generic non-set bow. That's what I did for my first time. Was I just had a junk bow that had no set bonus. It was just a sharpened bow with a damage enchant on it. So go with that. As for weapon enchants, Berserker main, poison off, and then if you're doing the bow back bar that doesn't have like a master or maelstrom enchant, go with a disease. That way you're not conflicting with cooldowns of poison or berserker enchant. Max stamina on everything. You can put a little points into health, or you can do health enchants or health attribute points. Pretty much just try and hit 18k. That's going to be the minimum I suggest for most players. 20k if you're looking to be even safer, but try and keep over 30k stamina if possible. If you're a red guard, that's going to be really easy to do. Ideally, you'd be running 2 daggers. I have a sword and a dagger. It's unlucky me, but whatever. We're going to make things work. 2 daggers is optimal, both sharpened. You can go infused or precise, and if you do that, then you're going to have to put a lot of points into piercing. You're going to want to go up to about 31 to 40, and you're going to have to take points out of other stuff. But this is what I really like for Maelstrom Arena. It's not ideal. I haven't gone through and found the mathematic perfection, but first time VMA on Stamina Warden, it's going to get you through. 49 Mighty, 20 Piercing, 52 Precise Strikes, 40 Thaumaturge, and 40 Master at Arms with 9 into Physical Weapon Expert. Remember to be above that full 1% integer so that you are not seeing a diminisher, like you're not gaining any effect. They're called jump points. It's a pretty convoluted topic. Just make sure you are above a percent integer. So if this was 6%, it would round down to 5%. Make sure it's above 6%. As for red CP, first you're going to spend 49 Hardy and 49 Ellie Defender. Devote those points. If you do not do this, then you're going to get less mitigation than intended. Just spend those 49 points in each of these first, and then after you've dedicated those, do 61 into Ironclad. You have a free point that you can spend wherever, 40 into Thick Skinned, and then you have another free 10 points. I really like 3 in Expert Defender for VMA because we're going to be taking a lot of light and heavy attack damage from these mobs. And then 7 into Quick Recovery to help us heal ourselves a little bit more with Vigor, Lotus, and Bound with Nature. So lots of extra healing amps. Not going to change the tide of battle too much, so you can put this into flat mitigation if you prefer. Into the Thief, we have 76 Tenacity and Mooncalf. Again, this is because we want to be above that full percent integer. If I redistribute, you say, oh hey, but 75 is 14%. Well, it's going to round down. I'm not going to get the full thing. So it has to be above that full percent integer to prevent that rounding down. Now it's going to be 14 as it lists. So make sure you're in there. You can do 100 in each of these if you really like. However, I don't suggest doing that because in VMA we're going to be doing a lot of blocking dodging. So, we're going to put 20 into Warlord to help reduce the cost of Break Free, 9 into Sprinter because we're going to be running around like a monkey a lot, 3 into Bashing Focus to help us interrupt, 13 into Shadow Ward to help reduce the cost of block, and then 13 into Tumbling to help reduce roll dodge. So that covers CP, gear allocations, all that good stuff. So now let's talk about abilities. First ability is going to be one of 2 things. If you're fighting a boss or single target, then go with Rending Slashes. Does tremendous burst. It has a snare, so if you need to kite and back off, that's really helpful. That's why I take it over Blood Craze. Blood Craze's healing is really, really negligible. It's not going to heal us that much, and it's not going to save our life if we need it, so I don't run it. Otherwise, most of the time we're going to be running Steel Tornado for lots of AoE DPS. Very, very helpful in killing lots of enemies. More enemies killed means more Vicious Ophidian procs, means easier time spent. Next ability is going to be another flex spot. I use Deadly Cloak here. It helps give us AoE damage mitigation. All boss mechanics, other than light and heavy attacks, are considered AoE now. So if you're fighting a boss and he's doing a really heavy attack, as long as it isn't a heavy attack or a light attack, you will mitigate the damage with Deadly Cloak. It's very, very helpful. If you don't want it, you can take it off. You can put something else there, but this is what I like. Next is Cutting Dive, our main spammable. It gives us a heal from a Bond with Nature proc. It does really nice damage. It can be casted from a range. It's just really, really nice. It's also going to give us 2% flat damage for slotting. Next is Subterranean Assault, our bread and butter in terms of bursting through enemies, AoE, or single target. It does monstrous burst damage after 3 seconds. It applies Major Fracture and Breach for 10, so that really helps push through bosses and just enemies in general. Try and line this up with as many enemies as can to just nuke them down. Next is Vigor. I don't have it morphed. You're going to take Resolving Vigor if you're a solo player. However, if you do like a lot of group things, then you can go with the other morph. But Resolving Vigor is preferred for solo play. I would not take off Vigor. I wouldn't try and use the Soothing Spore skill. This costs way too much stamina. It only heals for 6k. This heals us for 8k over 5 seconds. Each tick can crit, meaning it's going to out-heal the shit out of Soothing Spores, and it's going to operate as a hot, meaning we don't have to constantly be casting it. So it's going to be way more cost efficient. So that's why I run Vigor instead of Soothing Spores. Our ultimate is Dawnbreaker of Smiting, gives us really nice burst damage, gives us passive 3% weapon damage, does bonus damage to Undead and Daedra. Super, super helpful. Next is our bow bar. We got Rearming Trap. This helps give us minor force, lock an enemy in place. Place this on the portal that's spawning so that you can lock them in. Then pair that with an Endless Hail or Arrow Barrage. Either morph works really, really well here. They both do a lot of damage. I prefer Endless Hail for VMA because it's more about nuking singular targets and then kind of letting others come to you and then having them die in AoE. And then Poison Injection, another really powerful dot. Put this on high health enemies. You can also spam it from a range if you are just trying to kill stuff, or just dot them up and let them come to you. Otherwise, you can use Cutting Dive as a ranged option as well. I usually prefer Poison Injection because it's instant instead of having the delay of Cutting Dive, and we'll see that in the video that I prefer using Poison Injection from a range than Cutting Dive. Next is our resource management skill, Bullnetch. It's going to give us major brutality and a butt ton of stamina over a 25-second duration. Keep this up 100%. There's no disincentive to casting this ability other than incurring the global cooldown. So if you're out of combat or you're moving in between waves, make sure this is up. It costs nothing. It gives us stamina. It gives us brutality. Easy peasy. Next is Green Lotus, our primary heal. Now, I run this with Vigor because Vigor is going to be a burst heal in moments that I need it. I'll cast it whenever I need that extra healing, but Green Lotus is going to keep me topped off most of the time because it's going to heal me on light or fully charged heavy attacks, and it's also going to give us major savagery. So we're going to get another 10% weapon crit, so I'm at 81%, almost 82% when it's active. So it's going to give us a lot of healing. Pair this with heavy attacks if you need really big healing. Otherwise, Light Weaving will give us a nice, sizable heal that'll keep us alive. Next is Permafrost. This is pretty much a flex spot for an ultimate. I haven't really found anything else I really like. Permafrost, I'm not going to cast this much, but in case I need an oh shit button where I'm just taking tons of damage, I need that major protection and the stun, then I have that option. It's also going to do some damage, really helping us stay alive if we absolutely need it. Otherwise, you can run Ballista. This is what most people prefer, and that's what I'm going to be doing. But again, if you are a newer player, I highly suggest Permafrost. AoE damage, AoE stun, damage mitigation. It's going to be your best friend. That covers pretty much everything. If you're looking for a more aggressive playstyle and you want to run Caltrops, take off Deadly Cloak and put Caltrops there instead. You're going to do more damage. You're going to get a higher score than me, but this is about showing you how to make things easy, not how to be the best. So, as for other ultimates, you can use Rend on your front bar if you want additional healing. It's super helpful on boss fights. However, it is very finicky and tends to miss point blank a lot because the hit detection is fucking awful. So, if you don't want to be reliant on the game's RNG, then I would just suggest using Dawnbreaker of Smiting. It's a lot easier to deal with. We are doing full 7 medium armor. This is because I don't have Undaunted passives. Ideally, you'd be doing 5-1-1, so you get that extra health, stamina, and magicka, making you much tankier than I'm going to be. So probably going to die in this run because I'm running really low health. First time Stam Warden, but let's see what happens. We've talked about everything. Probably bored with it, so let's get into the action. I'm going to mute myself, talk over it, explain my actions, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, let's get right to it. So here we are in veteran Maelstrom Arena. My first time on the Stamina Warden on live. Again, I did it on PTS. This run is going to be way smoother because I actually have skills in decent gear. So as per usual, you'll notice that I start by placing a poison or a trap beast, Endless Hail, and then Poison Injection on the mob. that I want to focus, and then I'll kind of turn around and let them die. Because I know that they're going to die to my passive damage over time, while then I can go focus on other adds, drop my ultimates on the big elites like that, and then go kill the little things, just so I can clear the wave as quickly as possible. Again, this isn't going to boast the best score that we could ever get with a Stamina Warden. I'm not that great at Maelstrom Arena. I don't like the place anymore, but this should really help give an idea of how to make Maelstrom Arena completable. Remember, it's all about maintaining focus and understanding to keep up your buff. So by every wave, I look, okay, what target, at least there's a portal. Even if I don't know which target spawns where, I need to have a trap beast and an endless hail on it so that I can be killing one of them as they spawn. That means I only have 2 or 3 targets to fight instead of 4 or 5, because in some of these rounds there's going to be way more adds to fight. Using poison injection from a range, kind of pairing that with a fully charged heavy attack on my secondary target, and then I can let them die to my passive damage too. So with those 2 actions, I'm already killing 2 out of the 3 spawns immediately and only taking a little bit of damage here and there, which as a Stamina Warden, I'll easily be able to heal with Bond with Nature procs from Cutting Dive, as well as Lotus Flower if I weave or fully charged heavy attack. Here I make a minor mistake. I didn't put my Endless Hail on the Archer guy, so I had to kind of move up and back up with the Flesh Atronach to AoE. Here I do make another minor mistake. I should have put Rending Slashes on instead of Steel Tornado, but it's whatever. We're going to place down our trap, Endless Hail, get ready with a fully charged heavy attack, Poison Injection and Ultimate, place down our Subterranean Assault, and then go into spamming. And we're going to try and press Subterranean Assault every 3 to 4 seconds so that we get that immense burst damage. We almost burst him. If I had Caltrops, it would have been an easy job. So if you're looking to make this a little bit quicker, then go ahead and put Caltrops on instead of Deadly Cloak. But again, remember, Deadly Cloak is going to be super helpful for you on some of these boss fights, because all their damage, aside from their basic attacks like light or heavy attacks, are going to be mitigated by that 25% damage mitigation that Blade Cloak gives us. Furthermore, especially on round 2, it's also going to reduce the damage of these nasty little traps, so that's really helpful in terms of taking off some of that damage, because a lot of people struggle with round 2 because there's just so much damage, especially as a stamina build. So here, your 2 most important things to work on are keeping up Deadly Cloak and using Vigor to heal you passively. There's not much to talk about in terms of add order here. If you see one of the little sentries spawn, literally just light attack and poison injection, and then don't look at them. They're going to die to the dot. And then focus on the other guys like spiders or centurions or spheres, because they are a higher priority. There we had a sphere spawn, and I ignored it because I placed it in my Trap Beast Endless Hail. And you notice by the time I turned around, it was already dead. I'm not taking too much damage here because I'm just healing through most of it with Vigor and then Lotus Flower whenever I need the heals. Remember to also keep up your Betty Netch as much as possible in between every round. Right after the round ends, just cast it. There's no disadvantage because it doesn't cost anything. Doing the same thing here, prepping for a round by placing Trap and Endless Hail, and then kind of just spamming Poison Injection from a range so I don't have to get close and waste time. Because our Poison Injection does some pretty nice burst damage, and it's quicker than Cutting Dive. Instead of having that like 0.8 second delay in terms of how long it takes to hit, it goes immediately, so I can push faster even though Cutting Dive does more spammable damage. The other thing is that utilizing heavy attacks in Maelstrom Arena is really, really helpful. It helps kill adds really quickly because it does bonus damage, and it gives us stamina back. So I'm constantly trying to start a round, especially boss waves, with a fully charged heavy attack, and then going into keeping up my dots, placing things like Subterranean Assault, and then just going into spam mode. So here I'm just doing Trap Beast, Endless Hail, Poison Injection. I'm going to do a few Cutting Dives because he's going to go vulnerable soon, do a heavy attack to get some stamina back, and then we're going to do the same thing. Endless Hail down, we're going to Trap Beast, then we're going to do some Subterranean Assaults, and I push a little bit too soon. I should have let him do his mechanic there, but whatever, he's going to come right back up, so I'm going to do some heavy attacks because my stamina is super low now, and then I'm going to go back to the other one, just more heavy attacks, so that I don't push him under 25% just yet. So here I'm going to dodge roll that because that does a lot of damage. And then I'm just going to nuke him. So the Centurion bosses, their basic attacks do really crazy damage, so you want to try and dodge roll. There I accidentally pressed the wrong key, and you noticed how low my health went. So try and dodge them if possible, and then constantly be doing heavy attacks to get your stamina back. That's going to be your best bet, especially as a newer player. And with the tenacity stuff that we have spent in CP, we're getting a lot of stamina back every time we do a fully charged heavy attack, especially with the bow. You'll notice as soon as something spawns, I heavy attack, poison injection, and then it dies a second later. So boom, I let them off, and they kind of just take either half their health if I'm unlucky and don't crit, or they just instantly die. But I'm also getting a bunch of my stamina back when I do this as well, like 2 to 3k depending. Making sure I'm using potions off cooldown so I get my major resolve, so I get 8% damage mitigation against physical attacks, as well as getting a little bit of extra stamina and healing. You could put major breach, or not breach, resolve and ward on there if you want to have 8% flat damage mitigation and then just have stamina, because we have enough healing in our kit that we don't need to rely on a 45-second cooldown to get a small heal. That was just because it was easier for me to make. I was just like, whatever, I don't really need anything on these potions other than stamina, because I have all of my major buffs in terms of damage, and then anything else I get is kind of flavor text or fluff. Here I make some mistakes. I forgot to poison injection the Lamia in the back, and then I forgot to poison injection the mini boss, so they take a little bit longer than hoped for when dying. The other thing about this round is that use those little lurchers, or the little stranglers, for heavy attacking. They give ultimate when you light it or heavy attack. They're really, really squishy, and you can hit them in between rounds to get stamina back. So if they're just spawning, kind of look at them and then get ready with a bow or dual wield heavy attacks so you can get some of your precious stamina back. And then go back into pretty much lining everything up with your dots and then AoEing it down with Steel Tornado. Here we have the mini boss, so I'm going to poison injection all these adds. I'm going to take some high damage, so I start to block a little bit because I know that the mini boss can do a pull attack if you're not blocking. Here I left the Strangler alive so that I could heavy attack. Now I'm going to put on Rending Slashes for the boss because there's no need for a lot of AoE. Place down my trap and then kind of just spam cast poison injection as she closed the distance. Dodge roll her first attack to take off the high burst, and then go into applying all of my dots. So just a lot of different abilities. We're not going to be casting Cutting Dive terribly much because a lot of our dots have short durations, like Subterranean Assault is 3 seconds. Our dots are either 9 or 10 seconds. But with all of that, instead of spamming Cutting Dive over and over again, I'm constantly getting like 4 or 5 attacks off every second, and that's why that boss fight ended so quickly. If you're newer to that fight and you're not comfortable with that yet, use the Defense Sigil. It's extremely helpful with the adds. On to Stage 4, doing more of the same, prepping with a Trap Beast, Endless Hail, turning around, and doing some heavy attack poison injections on other targets. Here I see some more. I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus them down. Subterranean Assault, so I turn around and look at that guy, and then he instantly vaporizes. Do some heavy attacks for some burst and stamina back, and then kind of get ready for the mini-boss. I'm going to Dawnbreaker of Smiting to stun him, place some dots, and then I'm going to be like, okay, he will die to my dots. The Sentry gets through with his defenses, so I'm just dealing some damage to break his shield a little bit sooner, and then go over to the Sphere. Now, I should have placed a Subterranean Assault here to get some more burst damage off, but I still got a fully charged heavy attack off, so I got a bunch of my stamina back, and I bursted him to half health before he could even do high damage. The other thing is I forgot to put Steel Tornado back on my bar. Ideally, you're going to want to do that, especially for this stage, because there's so many places where you could instantly kill 3 or 4 targets because they clump up really nice for you. So I do miss out on speed, but again, that stuff is not necessary. You can easily do that without Steel Tornado. However, it's going to make this round even easier. More of the same, kind of avoiding red circles as much as I can. Heavy attacking whenever I can. You notice that I'm using the spheres as heavy attacks. Here I see another sphere spawning, so I place down my Trap Beast, Endless Hail, place some dots, and then turn around because I know it'll die to that. Here I'm going to get 2 more, so I Cutting Dive 2 on 1, place a dot, and then he's going to die, and then I'm going to place an Endless Hail so that they all sit in there and die. Now I'm going to have 4 little spiders come, so I'm going to replace Trap Beast and then buff up with my Netch and my Lotus, and then I'm just going to heavy attack. Now if I had Steel Tornado here, again, this would be a perfect time for that because they're all nice and grouped up for me. Here I miss one, so I couldn't push as fast, but whatever. I'm going to use the little sentry as a heavy attack, get some stamina back, and now I'm going to line these adds up so that I can Subterranean Assault with my Endless Hail and just eat through them. Dodge roll the heavy attack, and then kind of heavy attack to get my stamina back. Again, heavy attacks are your best friend in Morrowind. Do them constantly, especially when moving in between rounds or getting near the end. Here I'm prepping for the boss by placing all of my dots, charge off a heavy attack, poison injection, and then ultimate, Subterranean Assault, apply my rending, and then just go into spam mode. And then looking at my buff timers, what ability needs to be refreshed, what do I need to do, and then just spamming Cutting Dive whenever I have the time. I'm not going to make the burn. I could if I had Caltrops, but it's whatever. I'm going to stay just outside of that fire attack range and then do Cutting Dive 2 or 3 times, and boom, easy. On to stage 5, my most hated stage. I'm going to die here on the boss round because I make a minor mistake. We'll talk about that when I get there. But stage 5 in general is a little bit easier for Wardens if you utilize your Crystallized Slab ability. It funds Magicka, and then you can get major heroism when absorbing a ranged attack. So you'll take 0 damage, and then you'll get a bunch of ultimate, helping you either stay alive with major protection, or you be more aggressive with Dawnbreaker of Smiting. So use that if you want. Use that over Deadly Cloak. Not a lot of this damage is AoE, so you can do that. But as I'm just going to treat this like normal, placing my AoEs, dealing damage, heavy attacking when I can, and then between every round, doing my Netch, doing my Lotus Flower, and then getting ready with a Trap Beast, Endless Hail. Now remember to keep an eye on these trolls. 1 or 2 poison injections should be enough to kill them. I usually like dodge rolling at the start of Archer rounds so that just in case they do their poison injection, I can load off a lot of that damage. Here I'm going to Endless Hail, Subterranean Assault, and then Dawnbreaker, and then I hit all of them instantly. They're all stunned. I take no damage. Here we're going to have a mini-boss. Poison injection on him first because ogres are weak to poison damage, so I can have a chance to do tremendous burst. And then I had poison injection on the troll as well so that he would be dying while I did that. Now this is one of the harder hitting rounds, so I'm going to get ready with it. Heavy attack on the portal, Steel Tornado to burst him, and then go into killing this Frost Atronach. You notice I utilized all of my burst skills there. I had Trap, Endless Hail down, I did a heavy attack, and I had Subterranean Assault all ready when I needed it. Here I'm going to run low on stamina, so I'm kind of just going to be a little bit more conservative and do some heavy attacks. Endless Hail again, heavy attack for burst, Dawnbreaker of Smiting to stun, and then kind of just go into AoEing these targets down. Boom, easy. Now we're going to get a troll. Again, use them like in between rounds. All you have to do is heavy attack on him. Get some stamina back. There I don't even have to worry about him because he hasn't a dot on him. So I let him do his own thing and die like an idiot. Here I'm going to stack everything up. CC break that roar as soon as possible. As soon as one dies, the other is going to roar. So use that as your indicator. So if you're running low on stamina, don't kill one right away. Then that little fucker is going to sit in the ice and make it a hard time to kill her, but poison injections take care of her. There we saw the power of Subterranean Assault. Instantly killed all 3 targets all in a line. Here I'm going to do Subterranean Assault again. I'm going to line myself up with the mini-boss and the mage. I'm going to take some heavy damage because the mage didn't want to die, but it's okay. Vigor saves their life, and then we go into heavy attacking. So I'm going to use this troll for some heavy attacks. And here's where I make my mistake. I should have put on Permafrost because I'm under 80% stamina. So stamina is going to be an issue for me. I charge up a heavy attack and I start getting ready to burst. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll drop my ballista. And this is where I make the other mistake, is I burst her too quickly. I'm doing way too much damage and I'm not killing the ads. So here a troll spawns. I get super unlucky. Here 2 more ads come. I still have the 2 original ads. I have a poison injection on me. I'm just running super low on stamina. My health is getting low. I'm trying to heavy attack and heal, but it's not going to save me. I'm going to get hit by 3 things at once. Boom, boom, boom. I drop super low, and then another light attack. Like, all that damage all at once is impossible. But if I had permafrost, they all would have been stunned, all taking damage, and I would have been 30% tankier. So if you want to do the push strat on this boss and you don't want to worry about RNG and you want to get flawless the first time, then put on permafrost. It makes things so much easier. But whatever, this run is done for in terms of score, so I'm not going to worry about anything. I'm going to prep with a fully charged heavy attack, subterranean assault, poison injection, endless hail, do my ballista again. Subterranean assault again so that I can hit these 2 adds as they come. Another fucking troll spawns right at the worst time possible. I usually use that time to kill the adds, but I keep getting really unlucky with timing. So here I take a shatter to the face, so I have to dodge roll to save myself. I'm just taking lots of damage, and then Vicious Ophidian is going to save my life here. I know that there is a lot of adds up, so I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to take the defense sigil. This beats dying. I'd rather lose 750 points than lose 1,000 and all the time. So I'm like, okay, well, now I have reflect. Now I can just focus the boss. So I'm going to heavy attack weave, place my dots, and then kind of just kill her with lots and lots of heavy attacks because I'm low on resources. But I didn't have to worry about all those mages, the archers, the Nereid, because they all do range attacks, and the defense sigil reflects those. So defense sigil OP. On to stage 6. More of the same every round, making sure I have at least 1 trap beast down, endless hail where most of my targets are, and then subterranean assault as they spawn. Boom, look at all that burst damage. They're both to half health instantly, so I just do some steel tornadoes. Here I'm going to kill that little Horvar right next to the pinion. I miss, so I have to synergize and throw it on top of it. But make sure you have at least 3 or 4 of the pinions free, and then save it for whenever you need it. So I only freed the pinions twice, once on round 3 and then once on the boss round. You can free them more quickly. I choose not to because I don't have any benefit of really doing so, but having them stunned is super helpful, especially if you're in an oh shit moment. But pretty much most of the time that's not going to happen unless you're letting the stage like stack up against you, where you're just letting too many adds come through. You're ignoring spiders. Like, don't let them ever break or re-web the pinions. They're really low HP. So it's all about staying ahead of the game in stage 6. Don't ever fall behind. Like, always think 1 step ahead. Okay, what do I need to do? What's about to happen? Spiders are spawning. Get to an obelisk. A big add is spawning. Let's do some heavy damage. Let's drop an ultimate. A spider spawning, put 1 poison injection on him, or just 1 endless hail. Look at how quickly he dies. I don't even look at him. Here I have 4 out of the 5 pinions freed, so I'm going to let that Horvar go, because I don't want to break it and then have to re-free all of the pinions. I want to control it on my terms, because I know exactly when I'll need it. Here I'm just steel tornadoing these adds down. Unlucky with some crits. Oh hey, a spider spawns in my trap beast. That means I don't even have to look at him. Gonna move to a pinion because it's time to get away from the spooky guys, and then I'm gonna use them for stamina in between the round. Get some ultimate and heavy attack them. All right, here's round 3. So at the beginning, I'm just gonna kill these 2, and then after this, 3 more are gonna spawn. So I'm gonna line up with the mage, trap her, and then subterranean assault. I'm gonna do the same. Poison injection, the spider. Here we have a wasp, and then the mage. I'm going to kind of group them all up in AoE. I light attack the Horvar to aggro him to my position. I free the pinion, and now the mini boss is spawning. So I'm going to place down some burst, drop my ultimate, and then just chew through him. Now I have 2 archers spawning, trap or endless hail, subterranean assault. Boom, half health them immediately. Do a heavy attack and dive on each of them. GG easy. Now we have an elite spawning, so I'm going to poison injection the mage too, because she likes to ignore all of my mechanics and walk around. I pull the Horvar to me so that he breaks the pinion when he dies, and now we're on to round 4. Round 4, we're going to have 3 adds at the start, and they all line up perfectly. So I'm going to trap beast on the farthest one, subterranean assault, and then these 2 monkeys are going to walk right into my trap. So notice how that lurcher got to me with half health because I had endless hail down and subterranean assault right when I needed it. Here comes a mini boss, so I'm going to just place my trap, dodge roll that heavy attack, put some dots on him. I'm running low on stamina, so I'm going to heavy attack a lot here. I'm getting really worrisome, or getting really worried, because I kind of wasted a lot of my stamina. So I'm just going to heavy attack a lot. Make sure I don't get in those acid sprays, and then just Steel Tornado when they're all stacked up. Really unlucky with the crits on this one. A lot of these adds are not dying as fast as they should. Here I have 2 Lurchers spawn, so I'm going to dodge roll their attacks because they do a lot of damage. Now I'm just going to heavy attack and Subterranean Assault because they're all AoE. So here we have 1 grenade, but I don't need it because I have 4 out of the 5. Oh, nope. I free. Now I have 4 out of the 5. Kill that spider so that he doesn't ruin anything. Place my trap, Endless Hail, drop my ultimate, Poison Injection, and then go into nuking her. Here I have the Horvar spawn right next to me, so I'm going to let her do her explosion, and I'm like, okay, it's time to get stunned. I'm kind of low on stamina, so I'm not going to be able to burst her as fast as possible. I'm going to have to reapply my dots, and then just do a lot of heavy attacks in between. But see how easy that is once I stun? Since I was in control of my surroundings and used the obelisks when I needed them instead of just freeing them constantly, I was able to make that burn very, very easily. And if you aren't ready for that yet, then use the defense sigil, because every 5 seconds or so, she's going to increase her damage by like 5 or 10%. But she does ranged attacks. So if you put the defense sigil on, she'll just kill herself. And the only time she'll ignore it is if she's been enraged, which won't happen unless you've not done any damage to her within a minute or haven't freed any of the pinions. So defense sigil is very, very helpful there too, because she'll do more damage in effectiveness, but then she'll just be killing herself all the faster if you're using the defense sigil. A lot of the same on stage 7, just trying to line up adds so that I can Subterranean Assault, and then utilizing heavy attacks in between. Here I see an elite, so I'm going to drop my ultimate, do some heavy attacks. I bait him into doing his heavy attack, and so that instead of becoming immune at 50%, he's stuck into a mechanic. So I just kill him really, really easily. Here we got more of the same. Going to use my Subterranean Assault, heavy attack this ad, move through it, and then he'll die to my Endless Hail and Trap Beast. Here we get more adds, so I'm going to heavy attack from a range because they're all going to come in. Not going to really be able to stack properly until they get close to me. A few Steel Tornadoes makes quick work out of them. Here we have 2 little Night Blades, so I'm going to line them up, Subterranean Assault, and then make sure I hit both of them with that. Here I'm going to run to the Troll because the 2 other adds will come to me. So I'm kind of just doing some heavy attacks. Here I push the Troll a little bit too quickly, so he's going to enrage. So I Dawnbreaker him because I want him dead as soon as possible. Because an enraged Troll can mean serious business. Just using the little Venomancers for heavy attacks. Here we have another instance where a lot of adds are going to spread out. So I'm kind of just going to light weave Poison Injection on them, and they'll get to about half health and die as they come near me. Heavy attack that spawn, so get some of my stamina back, nuke him down. Here we have 2 archers spawning, so I'm going to place Trap Beast and Endless Hail on one, do some damage, and instead of finishing him, I know that killing one of them will force spawn the next wave. Dodge roll that lightning ball attack so that we don't get snared or anything. Just constantly whenever he's doing that little moment where he's kind of looking at you like he looks like he's not doing anything, he's getting ready to shoot the lightning ball at you. The lightning ball snares, it does high damage. You can dodge roll it. Make it easy. Here we have an archer, and I have 2 mini adds coming in, so I'm going to heavy attack and Subterranean Assault. Boom, he'll die to my Endless Hail. And then getting ready, we have 2 Night Blades and an archer, so I'm going to do the same thing. Endless Hail on one, Poison Injection them all up. I could have been ready with the Subterranean Assault here. Now it seems like I could be in trouble, but I see that the Venomancer's in the back, so instead of killing the archer first, I go and kill her so that I don't get killed with mushrooms. Here I'm going to let the 2 far archers come to me because I have a Dawnbreaker ready, so as soon as they're in position, I Dawnbreaker, and now they're both stunned. And then I'm going to move to one side and Subterranean Assault so that I can start dealing cleave damage to both. Now we're going to have 2 trolls. I'm going to try and focus one down, place a Poison Injection on both just so that I have a little bit of damage, and then I'm going to try and push him to 50%. Looks like he hit his enrage a little bit too quickly, so now I'm just preparing with heavy attacks. come to the Venomancer so I don't get fucked up, so that she dies in my cleave. And now I'm just trying to bait his attacks. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to. He's going to enrage, and then as soon as he does that boulder toss, I'm constantly moving around him, because if that hits you when he's enraged, you're going to die. Now we're getting ready for a boss round, so I take off Steel Tornado and put on Rend. Get ready by placing all my dots, do tons of damage, Dawnbreaker or Ballista when I get it. Here we have a little Venomancer spawning, so I'm just going to pull the boss back to her so that she dies in my Endless Hail. I'm going to CC break that stun, because if you don't do it, then you'll get a really nasty bleed placed on you. You can also dodge roll it if you have godlike reflexes. And then I'm going to make sure that I pull the boss to that little shield caster. You noticed how I kind of kept my distance from him? That was so that he walked a little bit closer before doing his screams. Now that the scream is over, I'm going to kill the ad, and I'm going to do something a little risky here, and I'm just going to ignore the Venomancer, because he's so low health that it's whatever. I dodge roll the slam so I don't get the bite, and then I make quick work out of him. Now it's on to Stage 8. Stage 8 is relatively simple for the Stamina Warden, because a lot of these ads are going to line up and just melt with our Scorch ability. So here I see a bunch of ads stacked up, Endless Hail on the farthest one, and then Heavy Attack, Scorch goes off, boom, both half health. Hey, more of the same, stuff lined up. I'm going to position myself between two of them, Scorch hits one, boom. Here we have two lined up with a Dawnbreaker, and then just AoE him down. Really, really easy. Utilizing these spawns and using my knowledge and memorization of where these things are to make use out of the efficiency in my skills, like placing my Trap Beast and Endless Hail on the biggest target, or the one farthest away, and then letting the other ones run into it as they come to me. There I broke the pinion right away so we could stun the Lurcher and then make quick work out of him, kind of abusing his long-winded animations. Here we're going to have 3 ads spawn with a Flame Shaper in the back. If you're looking to push, then kill 2 of these and then immediately go kill the Flame Shaper. Otherwise, if you're newer, kill the Flame Shaper first. He does really high damage, and if you don't bash his Inferno attack, you can die really, really quickly. Here we have more ads. I line up my Scorch and instantly kill 2 of them, so more ads spawn. I break the pinion. Oh, hey, look, more ads all stacked up. Let's do some poison, or some Endless Hail, some Steel Tornado, and then Dawnbreaker, and I just blow all of them up, and then get some of my stamina back on the Lurcher with heavy attacking. As per usual, I'm going to start out the round by reapplying my buff so that I don't have to worry about it mid-round. Oh, hey, look, more ads, nice and stacked up. Let's do another Scorch. Line them all up. Boom, 2 of them instantly get to half health. I kind of missed the one in the back here. That was my bad. But I know we're going to get 3 more, so I have a Subterranean Assault lined up. Dawnbreaker, boom, 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 easy peasy. Go to break the pinion so that the Lurcher becomes vulnerable. Going to do some dives on it, and then Steel Tornado to burst it. Here we have that Flame Shaper, so I bash the Inferno and then kind of let all of the other ads come to me. Gonna place a Poison Injection in an Endless Hail, dodge roll that Heavy Attack, reapply my buffs, and then just Heavy Attack him for stamina back, because I'm gonna need it at the next start of this round, because the next start has a lot of burst damage. I highly suggest taking the Defense Sigil right now if you are a beginner. Otherwise, you're gonna kill one of them from the farthest side, let the other 2 stack. Oh, hey, look, perfect. Dawnbreaker of Smiting. Stun 3 of them, kill them all with Steel Tornado. Heal up with some heavy attacks paired with Green Lotus. And now I'm going to kill these little heavy attack dudes, make sure I block their attacks, and then kind of just Steel Tornado them to death. One of the pinions forms, that means the DK boss is spawning. As soon as she comes out, the first thing she does is chains. That's why I dodge rolled immediately. I'm so familiar with Maelstrom Arena. I was like, okay, the boss is spawning. She's going to do that really obnoxious mechanic. Since I'm low on stamina, I'm playing extremely conservatively. I'm moving away from her. I'm placing heals and then just heavy attacking because I want to make sure I have enough stamina for the boss round. I'm going to try and burn her, but ultimately I fail to do so. If I had Caltrops again, it would be so much easier. But I place Trap Beast, Endless Hail on one pinion, and then Poison Injection it. I'm going to do a Steel Tornado on that after Poison Injectioning. That'll break, and now I lure her to the final one. rebuff up so I don't have to do it, and then drop my ultimate poison injection, and then go into nuking her. Now again, if I had caltrops, I easily would have made this burn, or if I had enough stamina, but I miss it by just a tiny little bit, so I'm going to have to re-break the pinions, place a trap beast and a poison injection on that one so it'll die. I'm watching her so that when she does that flame attack, I dodge roll and don't get snared. And then now she's stunned, so I close the distance with a heavy attack and then move to the portal with a few dives. On to the final stage, stage 9. Another part that's going to be really helpful is in stage 9 is adds like to stack up really well. So we're going to be using our Scorch ability like crazy. Here I forget where this stuff spawns, it's whatever. Get ready with the Scorch, heavy attack, boom, Dawnbreaker is smiting, and then this little fucker in the back is dodge rolling around, ignoring all my mechanics, so kind of just have to heavy attack a few times. Here I see the Archer and the DK lined up, so I launch off a Scorch, do tons of damage. Now, I should have been ready with another Scorch here. Unfortunately, I was not. That would have helped push through these two immediately, but I saved my Dawnbreaker for this ad. Heavy attack, Dawnbreaker, boom, half health instantly, and he doesn't even get to do his mechanics. So, when Crematorial Guards spawn, always try and get ready on their portal with a heavy attack, have an Endless Hail running, and then either poison injection, or like go into Steel Tornado spam or dive spam. More of the same, just stacking up ads, understanding which ads will come to me. Here I have 2 ranged guys. I should have went to one of them instead of the melee, and then just kind of fucking them up with heavy attacks. Here I get really unlucky, and like one of them keeps healing the other one, so they're still both alive. Then she starts healing. So unlucky on my part. I should have made sure I ensured one of the kill. So that's going to force me to drop my Spectral Explosion. I drop Ballista on the Crematorial Guard while he's stunned. And now I get ready with Scorch because I know 3 ads are here. 2 are going to walk to the Ogrim, and then I just pretty much make quick work of them with Scorch and Endless Hail paired together. Here we're going to have even more ads spawning. We're going to get another Crematorial Guard, so since he's melee, I'm going to abuse that. He'll walk to me, so I just sit by the healer, she dies, and he can't even do his Flame Breath because I saved my Dawnbreaker just for his pretty little face. More ads, getting ready with the Scorch, lining up our damage. I just miss, unfortunately. I wasn't quick enough to get in line. Here we have a mini-boss. I'm going to make sure my buffs are up because after the mini-boss, we're also going to get an Ogrim, so I want to make sure that I'm ready for that. And then just doing lots of heavy attacks. Poison Injection on the Ogrim, drop my Endless Hail, all that good stuff, and then go into Steel Tornado spam. Now we're going to get another really big stack. I'm going to place down my Endless Hail, Trap Beast, Dawnbreaker of Smiting to stun the ads and kill them all. Here, the Crematorial Guard is only going to do a few things of his Fire Breath, so I do a Vigor to just keep me topped off, just in case. Here we're going to have 2 ads spawn, plus the Summoner. I'm going to focus the 2 ads. I line on the range target, so the melee guy comes to me, make quick work out of him with a few Steel Tornadoes and Scorch, and then kind of using Scorch as I close the distance between these ads. Here I go again on the range target because I know the melee guy will come to me. So do some damage on him. She's sitting in my Endless Hail. She'll die to that. So boom, Scorch takes quick care of both of them. Here I'm going to have another Crematorial Guard and another melee guy. So I force them to all stack. Dawnbreaker, do some Steel Tornadoes. Easy peasy. Heavy attack to get some of my stamina back. Here I'm going to have a range target and the Summoner. So I'm going to place down some damage on the range target and then go right to the Summoner. Now I'm ready for a Spectral Explosion. I'm going to cast that as the stuff spawns so that we can make sure they take the bonus damage. So put a Poison Injection on her, she'll die. Do some damage on the Ogrim, he'll die to our dots. Whatever, we'll leave him be. And then we have one more Summoner. So close the distance with the heavy attack, cast a dive, make sure I pick up that ghost and make quick work out of her. Alright, now we're going to get into Ash Titan realm. So first is going to be a Crematorial Guard. I'm going to stack on him. Endless Hail, Trap Beast, Poison Injection. And now I'm going to let the range or the melee guy walk to me, do some Steel Tornadoes. Pick up the ghost, and now it's time for the Ash Titan. Trap Beast, Endless Hail. Now I'm going to rebuff while he's becoming immune. and then drop my ultimate, dodge roll his basic attacks because they do a lot of damage. So whenever he does a heavy attack, just dodge roll it. And now he's going to do a heavy attack soon, so I'm going to abuse his range because he can't move. So I move backwards. He does his slam, and then he dies to my dot. Now I'm just going to make quick work out of these adds with some Steel Tornado spam. Could have done this a little bit smoother, but it's whatever. I'm going to move to the range guy so that the melee guy comes to me. Do some Steel Tornadoes. There's the other guy dodge rolling. And now we have the Ogrim. So I'm just going to nuke him as quick as possible. Okay, time for final boss. So I'm going to swap off Steel Tornado and put on Rending Slashes. Luckily, I'm a Stamina Warden. I have really nice bursts, so I'm going to Trap Beast, Endless Hail, Deadly Cloak, drop my ultimate, Poison Injection, Subterranean Assault, and Rend, dodge roll his heavy attack, and instantly get him to 70%. Now I'm going to kind of just sit by this healer as the Clan Fear comes out, do some range damage. She's going to stay alive because she's a pesky healer. And now it's time to go for a ride upstairs. Instantly start applying my dots and my buffs. Dodge roll his heavy attack so I don't get knocked off. Have to reapply a lot of buffs, so this is not going to be as fast as it could be. As I'm moving in place for the stone wall, I'm placing dots on other stuff so that they're taking damage as I move. Do some heavy attacks because I'm running dangerously low on stamina. Endless Hail, Trap Beast, Poison Injection, and get locked into an animation. Okay, dodge roll that attack, and now just heavy attack, weave, dive. I'm not going to go behind the wall because the pinion will break. He's going to knock me down, and I'm instantly going to recast my buffs. Heal up, place a Trap Beast, Endless Hail on him, Poison Injection him after I pick up the Ghost, drop my Ballista, bash the attack, get ready to dodge. Just reapplying all my buffs as I'm weaving in and out of the red circles and ignoring everything else. Make quick work out of them with that. So that covers everything for the run. Now we're going to talk more about my thoughts on it, how well I would do if I was in better like passives, all that good stuff. But yeah, there it is. My first time in Veteran Maelstrom Arena on live servers with the Stamina Warden. Much better than I did the first time ever on the PTS. And absolutely trouncing the Magicka Warden. Did make that minor mistake in round 6 where I pushed too fast and I just had too many adds come out at once and I just got zapped pretty much. I got tons and tons of damage. If I had used Permafrost, like I should have, to be more defensive and just be safer in general, I would have been able to survive that because I would have had the protection, I would have stunned all those enemies, been dealing damage. So I got greedy. I was like, oh, I'm just going to burn with Ballista, but then I burned too fast and then paid for my mistake. So if you're a new player, you don't have to do that strategy. You can go the safer route, kill the adds, and then push the boss. And then you saw, I was like, I don't care about this run anymore. I'm going to use a sigil, and then I used the defense sigil and just ignored the adds. That's the other really nice thing is the defense sigil makes that boss fight a joke because all of those adds pretty much are ranged other than the boss, and you can just put on defense sigil and then have them kill themselves for you sort of thing. So Stamina Warden really, really doing well in Maelstrom Arena from a beginner standpoint. Like, the amount of healing that we get from Cutting Dive and Green Lotus, like, I'm not casting Vigor nearly as much as I'd have to on another class. I could probably get away with doing a no Vigor run if I was really, really good. However, I'll leave that to the people who are better at Maelstrom Arena than me, because Green Lotus is really strong. It's like Crit Surge, not as good because it doesn't heal as much and it requires you to lighten heavy attack instead of just doing damage. The other thing is if you need more healing, you have that Bloodthirst option. So Stamina Warden has really, really nice potential in terms of just clearing Maelstrom Arena, especially for beginners. We have healing, we have damage, we have range, we have resource management, and then we have buffs. That was the other thing is I used a potion that heals me and gives me major resolve instead of worrying about weapon power potions, because Betty Netch or Bull Netch gives me stamina or major brutality, and then Green Lotus gives me savagery. So that's the other really nice thing is a beginner-friendly option, and players who are not looking to spend a lot of money to clear Maelstrom Arena, they give them an option by having every buff that we need available to us. We have Major Breach and Fracture from Assault, we just have a lot of great skills to help the average player do Maelstrom Arena. And I mean, 577k with 1 death and 1 sigil on my first time with like no Undaunted, no poison or potion passives, none of that fancy stuff. It's very accessible to players who just can come in, do some stuff, and then get out sort of thing. We already almost have 100 players who have cleared with Warden on Maelstrom Arena because it's pretty straightforward. It's really helpful, Magicka or Stamina. Like, I remember when Nightblade first came out, there was less than 30 Nightblade clears for the first 2 weeks sort of thing. Even after a month, 100 players hadn't even completed Maelstrom Arena on like Dragon Knight and Nightblade because it was really hard. But with Warden, less than a month, and we're almost at 100 players. So Warden doing hot. Probably easier than other things. Stamina Sork might be a little bit easier just because it has so much more healing and AoE damage and mitigation and all of the really nice stuff. But it comes at a close second. And it's fun. It's more fun spamming Bird and lining up my burst with Subterranean Assault. Like, I can feel the progression of this class from a Maelstrom standpoint. I don't see it in endgame PvE, like Trials and Dungeons and stuff, as much as another class. But in terms of Maelstrom, I really like what I see sort of thing. And I'm hoping someone can go out there and spend all of the time that it takes to post a really crazy score, because I don't have the time for Maelstrom Arena like I used to, where I used to be able to sit in here for 4 days a week and try and get a better score, but I just don't have the time anymore. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the community does with the Warden. Hopefully this video inspires you to go shit on my score, because it's like, oh, hey, that's easy, I can do that. So yeah, gives you an idea of what to look for. And I mean, there are tons of improvements that I could make that I'm missing gear or not gear, but passives and stuff, so the potential is there. We could easily break 590k on the Warden if you give the class time and dedication. Otherwise, if you just want to clear, Stam Warden pretty solid at doing that. We got healing, we got mitigation, we got CC from our ultimate. We have options, so hopefully this has helped to give you an idea of what's in store for Maelstrom Arena on a Stamina Warden, giving you the potential of the class, kind of seeing how far we can take things. But hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you guys around. If you've liked the content in this video, consider pledging at my Patreon. The community's interest and support ensure that I can keep making content as well as looking for ways to improve. To those who already have, I truly appreciate all the support, discussion, and encouragement you all give. You are amazing. If you have feedback for this video, drop a comment below, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or subscribe to the channel. Other than that, I will see you guys next time.